What's your name?
My name in which language?
In English.
In English, my parents named me Sarita, which is based on a Spanish name because my dad is from Spain.
Sarita, that is an Indian name.
Sarita is an Indian name. S-A. Mine is S-E.
Okay, Sarita. So, from where you are?
Pardon me?
From where you are?
I was the first generation born in the United States on my dad's side. My dad is from Spain, and my mother's side of the family is part indigenous Native American.
Okay.
And, you know, the horrible Spanish people that came in and stole their land.
Okay, so since when you are living in China?
I came to China about 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
I know.
Since when you are using the couchsurfing?
Just before that, when I left home, I left the U.S. And I moved to Spain probably 8 years ago, a little more than 8 years ago, and then I met my ex-boyfriend who was from New Zealand, and we traveled around. We went to like 20 different countries. We were backpacking, and we ended up in China during COVID.
So what is the experience about this one? How do you feel? Couchsurfing, good or bad?
I feel like I have spent 8-9 years usually organizing the meetups in major cities like Shanghai, the third largest city in the world, and a lot of other cities. And I have never met an ambassador that is a female. And I have had a lot of women have pointed out to me that while we have had a lot of benefit from couchsurfing, that it's actually not an organization that has female leadership. It's not an equal organization for women.
So you're meeting these guys, you feeling good?
Of course I'm feeling good. I love couchsurfing. I promote it everywhere that I go, but other people have started to point out to me that it's so I first heard about couchsurfing when I was about to leave home, Portland, Oregon, in the United States. And I was like, okay, I'm starting this trip. I'm quitting my job. I'm leaving everything behind. I'm done with school. I'm going to go to Europe. And so I was like, I need to book some hostels. And in one of the comments for hostels, it was like, why does anyone go to a hostel when there's couch surfing? I'm like, what is this couch surfing all about? So I researched it and I was like, this sounds weird. This sounds like staying with strangers. This sounds like, but there was a meetup in Portland that week. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to the meetup and I'm gonna see if these people are crazy or if they're awesome. And I went and it was like this life-changing experience for me where I met people who were visiting from Iceland. I met people, like I met 50 different people who, like, there was not enough time to get to know all of them, and we exchanged information and we wanted to like meet each other in different places in the world, and I was like, I felt like this is my tribe. I found my people. I found people who care about accepting people wherever they're from, about trying to have a good impact on the world in a way that isn't very common in a lot of the way that people think. And I was like, this is for me. And so I flew to London, and my first couch surfing host, I don't know if confidential reasons allow me to say who he is, but he's a surgeon. He's a neurosurgeon in London, and so the first place that I stayed in was in this beautiful high-rise building where I had like my own apartment inside of his apartment for free with like a view of the Gherkin, and he took me to all these places, and then it was just like I felt like after my road trip around Europe for 4 months using mostly couch surfing, I became evangelical about it. I feel like there are people in my life now that they're my family because I met them through couch surfing. Like I just this last summer I went to go stay with a girl in Germany that she hosted me in Okinawa 7 years ago. I mean, like, you make these amazing connections, and I hope that it's something that gets stronger and that it's not something we lose. I want people to pay for it, because if you don't pay for stuff, it goes away. And I think we really need, I think that couchsurfing has done a really good job of making it safer for women in recent years, and yeah, I hope it's something that's around for a long time. I absolutely love it.
Have you ever faced some bad experience also?
I don't think that I feel like answering that question could come across negative against certain people, so I wouldn't want to answer that question.
But you have faced bad things.
I've personally been assaulted and the police became involved.
Really?
That's the worst thing. I have had some other lower level assault. I stayed with a guy who several people had left him negative references, and so he messaged me and he said, "Hey, I feel like I had some misunderstandings with these people. They were girls. It was a lesbian couple. I feel like I wasn't sensitive enough, and I feel terrible about it. But I would really like to have some more women stay with me so that I can try to prove that I'm not the way that they felt that I was." And so I'm thinking like, I was like, I mean, that's fair. That's reasonable. Sometimes personalities don't work. And so I was like, cool, I'll come stay with you. And it ended up that he was having like a severe psychological breakdown that the government was involved in. He had extreme trauma with his brother dying, he's a first responder, and he had to take care of a teenage girl who killed herself. So he was not in a place mentally where it's a safe place to have people stay, and I hate when I have to use the very important thing that couchsurfing has, which is saying like, I don't think this is a bad dude, but right now he's not, like, he could snap and hurt someone. Like right now, this dude needs a break from it. So I mean, the thing about life, not just couch surfing, is sometimes there are assholes. It's not couch surfing that is the problem. Sometimes, like in any society, there's going to be a percentage.
You have more experience. If you are choosing a host, what should be careful about that one?
Pardon me?
If you are choosing any host, like a girl is choosing a host in any country, we should be careful. What about that girl? References?
Okay, my tips and tricks.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I think that my tips and tricks are different for men and women. For example, since I organize the couch surfing community in Shanghai, I will occasionally post tips for guys to get hosts, tips for girls. You know, like for example, as a girl, if you don't want to, if you're not into sex surfing, don't post a whole bunch of super sexy selfies. You are telling people that that's something you're open to. You know, don't be dumb. So I'll give, try doing this, write, especially for guys, write enough about yourself, but not so much that no one's gonna read it. It can't be too long, it can't be too short. when you're searching for a host, the filtering feature is amazing because in most places there are like 100,000 people that are willing to host, right? So that's overwhelming. So the filters that they have are super awesome. So for example, like just because it's easier for
verified people and
pardon?
Verified people references you can choose.
I'm not as concerned about the verified one. I don't know. Everyone's a little bit different. My first thing, because of previous experiences, it's just easier. There's never any confusion. Okay, that's not true. I have stayed with lesbians and there was still sexual problems. But the first thing I will pick, one of the things that's really important is if you go all the way down to the bottom, it'll say best match or last login. Pick last login. Because there are people who made an account like 20 years ago and they've never opened it again, and you'll like be going through their profiles and be like, they're amazing, I bet we would be best friends, but they don't even use it anymore. Last login is very important. Start with 5 kilometers. If you can't find anyone, move to 10 kilometers. If you have allergies or things like that, if you and you got to read people's profiles because some people are nudists, for example, and they openly say like, listen, I'm a nudist. If you want to stay at my house, that's cool, but the rules are that we don't wear clothes in my house. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, they have openly stated that. It's your choice to not stay with that person. You need to read people's profiles and see what they're expecting from it to make sure it's not something different from what you're expecting from it.
Okay, thank you so much for giving the precious time. तो भाई मोहतरमा के विचार आपने सुने, जो भी काउचसर्फिंग यूज करते हैं उनके लिए
Sorry.
I'm speaking in my language to my
sorry.
तो इन्होंने बता दिया भी क्या कुछ आप सावधानी बरत सकते हैं, क्या कुछ फिल्टर यूज कर सकते हैं, और उसके बाद टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स सारी बता दी है, सब कुछ इन्होंने बता दिया है। तो जब भी काउचसर्फिंग यूज करेंगे, खासकर लड़कियों के लिए ये अगर आप होस्ट यूज करना चाहती हैं तो सारी सावधानियाँ बरतने की इसमें जो बता दिया है, ट्रिक्स और ट्रिक्स सभी बता दी हैं, तो सभी यूज करें। अगर आपको लगता है काउचसर्फिंग सेफ साइट है, मेरे अकॉर्डिंग तो है भाई, हम यूज कर रहे हैं सभी काउचसर्फिंग यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, यू कैन सी देम। देखिए सभी साथी इकट्ठे हुए हैं यहाँ पे।
More people are coming. This is small.
More people are coming.
This is
तो
just
और भी
the
आ रहे हैं भाई,
beginning.
और भी आ रहे हैं, तो वीडियो शेयर करें।